A very good morning to everyone present here. I am Rakhi Olaf from DAV Pushpanjali. Today, in class 10th English, we shall discuss chapter 5 of First Flight, The 100 Dresses. This heartwarming story is written by L. Besor Esther, who was an American author. She won the Louis Carroll Shelf Award, Certificate Award for Outstanding Contribution to Children's Literature from New York Association, and many more for her memorable works. Before we proceed, dear children, tell me, how do we judge people around us? By their money, wealth and possessions? Or is it something of more enduring value to look for in a person? This story is a sensitive account of how a poor young girl is judged by her classmates. Wanda Petronsky is a young Polish girl who goes to school with other American children in an American town. These other children see Wanda as different in many ways. It is said that Eleanor has based on her own experience of growing up in a small town of Connecticut, where an elementary school classmate was teased because she wore the same dress to school every day, and because she had a Polish surname difficult to pronounce. The story conveys the evil of racism in our society. There has always been a lot of influx and immigration of people from one part of the world to other. For example, as a background to this story, we must know that there is a large Polish American community in the United States who were discriminated, as were the Irish, Italians and Jews. The world is unfortunately full of such examples of social inequality. The story revolves around Wanda Petronsky. She was a young Polish girl who hardly talked to anyone around her. She lived in Bogins Heights, where the poor people lived. This is a true experience of a girl who was teased by other children of her classroom due to the fact that she was different from them. Every single day, the girls used to tease Wanda and ask her about how many dresses she had. Every time Wanda answered that she had hundreds of them. Wanda was always quiet and always wore a blue faded dress to school. Whenever she was asked about how many dresses she had, she would instantly have the same answer: 100 dresses and a 60 different pair of shoes. She said that they were all lined up in her closet. Wanda always took the seat that was next to the last row in room 13. In order to avoid being laughed at by her classmates, she sat there to hide her dirty feet. Even after that, Peggy and her group of girls teased her. Wanda still never complained and bore it all silently. Wanda once was absent from the school for long. The reason behind it was that her family had to move to a big city. Peggy and Maddie were thinking about her absence. Maddie thought about her constantly. They teased her and how she never spoke a word against them. Later in the chapter, things turn out to be different. It is described how Wanda was a talented artist who won the drawing competition for her exhibition of the paintings of 100 dresses. Thus, at this point, her class understands that they misjudged Wanda and felt guilty about her. Her quality of drawings amazed everyone. Chapter 2: part 2 of this chapter also highlights some very key issues. One day, Wanda Petronsky was declared the winner of the drawing and coloring contest from among the girls group. The monitor from the principal's office brings a letter to the teacher, Miss Mason. The letter had been written by Wanda's father, stating that his daughter would no longer attend the school as their family was moving to a new city. In this letter, her father, had stated that the family was moving to a new city in order to avoid being socially ill-treated due to having funny names and because they hailed from a different Polish nationality. Miss Mason reads out the letter to the class and asks her students to reflect on how they had behaved with Wanda. The contents of the letter leave Maddie guilt-stricken, as she had been a silent spectator to her best friend Peggy, teasing Wanda by asking her how many dresses she possessed. It was evident that Wanda hailed from a poor economic background and teasing her in such a way would obviously hurt her feelings. Maddie decides to visit Wanda and apologize for her actions. After school, Maddie and Peggy visit Wanda's house in Boggins Heights. However, they find that Wanda's family has departed. Overcome with guilt, Maddie is unable to sleep that night. She decides to never again be a silent spectator to anyone being subjected to humiliation, whoever the perpetrator may be. On the following Saturday, Maddie and Peggy pen a friendly letter to Wanda and mail it to her address at Boggins Heights, writing, "Please forward" on the envelope. They never received a reply for their letter. Finally, on the last day of the school before Christmas, Miss Mason receives a letter from Wanda. Apart from inquiring about everybody, Wanda had requested Miss Mason to give the girls in room 13 the pictures of the dresses which she had drawn. She had particularly requested Miss Mason to give Peggy the drawing of the green dress with the red trimmings and Maddie the drawings of the blue dress. Maddie and Peggy interpret this action as Wanda's way of telling them that everything was okay between them. That evening, as a tearful Maddie looks at the drawings that she had received, she is surprised to find her face on the drawings of the blue dress. On checking the drawings that Peggy had received, Maddie finds Peggy's face on it. This makes Peggy feel that Wanda had probably liked them. Maddie too agreed, as she tearfully remembered Wanda, the little Polish girl about whom she had known so little. She imagined Wanda looking sadly at the group of the girls who had teased her at the school, but whom she had considered her friends and had so willingly forgiven, despite their meanness and inconsiderate behavior towards her. The story is a beautiful description of the feelings of this girl Wanda and her counterparts Peggy and Matt. The story also highlights many prominent themes, forgiveness being one of them. The story very clearly shows the act of forgiving someone's mistake. Here, Wanda forgives her classmates who used to bully her for her weird name and her story about 100 dresses. In the end, the writer also concludes by a letter written by the girl who bullied Wanda about their present surprise about Wanda's artistic talent and her readiness to forgive. Another prominent theme here is bullying. Though the author does not use the word in the book's most prominent theme, but here it is one of them. Though Peggy is naive in her child's perspective, the 100-dress game she instigates with Wanda is mean-spirited at heart. Because Wanda remains very, very quiet and does not react to the schoolyard taunts by crying, Peggy and other girls can tell themselves that their actions are not cruel. In this way, the book captures the insidious nature of bullying. From a certain perspective, it is just a game, from another, cruelty. The theme of equality enters the narrative, and so does the theme of poverty, which underlines much of the conflict in the 100 Dresses. Poverty determines that Wanda and her family live far from the school, and the mud Wanda accumulates on her shoes during the long walk subsequently relegates her to the back of the classroom, where she sits with students whom the teacher and the front row students presume to be unintelligent. Wanda's poverty also means she wears the same dress to school every day, which brands her as a social outcast. Here, inculcation of values is the key point that the author needs us to understand. Dear children, after you read the chapter with the help of the glossary and the word meanings provided, you can also attempt the assignments. Also, attempt the character sketch of the three main characters, Wanda, Maddie and Peggy. The positive and negative, along with the neutral words given here, will help you navigate your responses. You can take help from thinking about the language, the adjectives describing the human qualities given on page number 80 of your text. Enjoy reading and have a nice day, children. Thank you very much.